This video is either going to seriously annoy you or it's going to positively change your life. And I really do mean that, because if you watched part 1 of this video, which around about 200 of you did, then you will know that AI sales outcompetes traditional high-ticket sales in damn near every measurable way. And really, it outcompetes every other industry that you could sell within in 2026. However, there has been some key changes since I posted part 1. And I'm going to go through those changes in just a second in order to put you in the best possible position to capitalize on this AI gold rush, this window of time that we have for you to make life-changing money by selling for AI businesses. Now, lastly, we're going to also go through some key differences between selling AI versus selling in traditional high-ticket sales industries. I'm also going to back up my words with real stories, real proof, and real numbers that we've seen from recent clients. Results and numbers, by the way, that still surprise me, even to this day, after placing so many people into sales roles in the AI industry. Like, the size of result and the frequency of result, it really does just keep getting better and better. But the longer that you wait to get in, the more difficult it will become. This goes for most things in life, that the earlier you see and adapt to change, the better results that you will achieve. Early adopters will always get the best results in life. So whether you are a high ticket closer, or maybe you're not a closer, but you're selling in some other industry. Or even if you're not in sales at all, but you could just know and can see what a great opportunity this is to sell AI and you want to learn more about it. Whatever avatar that you fall under, this video is going to set you up for success. It's going to set you up to be a top sales performer in the AI industry, to make great money, to live a life of freedom, and actually maximize that potential that you know that you have within you. So without further ado, we're going to dive into my laptop and a document that I've created. Stick around to the end and it just might be the start of a very exciting journey for you into the AI industry. Let's go. Hey guys, a very quick bit of context for those of you that don't know me. My name is Scott Parsons. I'm the founder of High Ticket AI Sales, which is a sales recruitment / training business that is niche specific in the AI industry. So ultimately what we do is bring in closers into our training and recruiting program. We train them to the highest levels, specifically on selling B2B AI solutions. We place them in with an AI company, a closing role, should I say, with an AI company that's in our network, and enjoy all of the good things that come with that, which you're going to understand more by the end of this video. Very quick bit of proof. Millions of dollars closed for myself personally in B2B. I am still very much in the trenches. I never want to be that person that is teaching something that I'm not doing and that I haven't done for years, so I'm very much still on closing calls. I'm closing deals with AI companies. I'm closing deals with closers to join our program, and yeah, staying sharp on my skill set, essentially. My first closing role was for one of the biggest agencies in Europe, where I was a top performer. Actually, the highlight there being my personal favorite highlight, that I set the record for the most units anybody has ever sold in their first month selling for the company. Beyond that, I was a top performer for a company called Imperium Acquisition, which is founded by a guy called Charlie Morgan, this guy up here that you can see. And in my company now, High Ticket AI Sales, we have a plus 90% placement success rate for our clients, as in plus 90% of customers that join us will land remote sales roles in the AI space. And we're going to go through some client stories and proof and results in just a second. But with that social proof out of the way, let's get into the main meat of the video. So the changes and shifts. Like I said earlier, early adopters in life get the best results. The earlier that you see change, and most importantly, adapt to change, the better results that you will get in terms of your income, freedom, and whatever it might be that you desire. So I'm going to start with what's actually changed in the market since part 1, because I don't just want to give you the same comparison with different words, basically. The landscape has genuinely shifted. I'm not just saying that, okay? I am deep in the trenches of AI, but just a high-ticket closing and high-ticket sales world in general. I've been in the high-ticket sales space for coming up 5 years now. Prior to that, I was in the corporate sales space for around about 10 years. So yeah, I'm very, very humbly speaking, I'm very much in this world. I'm speaking with closers daily, I'm speaking with founders daily, and I'm not saying this just to be dramatic, that high ticket, specifically high ticket B2C sales, is harder than it's ever been. And not only that, if you look at the trajectory, it's only going to get harder and harder, okay? And like I said, I speak with closers daily. I'm very much in this world. And the feedback that I get from people in traditional high ticket sales is consistent with my observation, okay? That prospects are getting more skeptical than ever. Show rates are lower than ever. Close rates are on a downward trajectory, okay? And the financial objections are way more frequent. And really, you ask yourself why? It's because in most high ticket sales offers, you're selling courses and coaching programs, right? A lot of closers don't realize that there is a world beyond courses and coaching programs. Yeah, of course, you've got AI, which is our core focus, but you've also got, finance, health, wealth management offer. We've got a great wealth management offer on at the moment. Like, there's such a world beyond courses and coaching programs, okay? But the fact is that specifically with these B2C coaching and course type offers, that market has been burned repeatedly, okay? There's been so many gurus, so many overpromised results, so many people that paid $5, $8, $10, $15,000 for a program that didn't deliver on the promise that they stated, okay? And the thing is, what's interesting is that human beings, we're social animals, right? And so that damage doesn't just stay with those individuals, it spreads, okay? Because let's imagine you buy a coaching program for $10,000, right? You have a terrible experience. It didn't work. The customer service was terrible, XYZ, okay? Well, that doesn't just stay with you, right? You go and vent to your family, to your friends. And so all of a sudden, this one person's bad experience, maybe you even post about it online and thousands of people see it. But at the very least, you go and tell your family, your friends, and all of a sudden there's like 10, 20 people that now have this perception of, all right, I should not buy a high ticket program, okay? It spreads. It becomes the perception of an entire industry. Just look at like the stigma of the average course seller these days. When I first got started in high ticket sales, like I said, around about 5 years ago, the industry was different. There was like, now it's become a very negative thing. It's almost become an insult, like, oh, this guy's a course seller, There's a stigma, there's a negative stigma attached to it, okay? So ultimately, and I've said this in previous content before, but trust in the B2C coaching space is at an all-time low, while skepticism is at an all-time high. Now, I do want to disclaimer this, though. I want to be fair. There are great programs out there. I've been through programs that have genuinely changed my life. I'm not just saying that. And there are also closers that are making big money in B2C high ticket sales. I want to illustrate the nuance here. Like, when I say all of this, I'm not saying that you can't come into a B2C high ticket sales offer, selling a course or coaching program, and you can't make great money. You can, okay? I've got many, many friends and connections that I've built over the years that are doing 30, 40, 50K plus a month, selling to a B2C market. Like, it's again, we have to just, as I'm sure, you guys, if you're watching this type of video, you are intelligent people, and I'm sure that you can see the nuance here, okay? But the fact is, closing on a B2C high ticket sales offer, it's already got significantly harder, and it's only going to continue to get harder, okay? Trust is going to go even more lower. Skepticism is going to go higher. The financial resources of a B2C market is only going to go lower, okay? And as with most things in life, like we discussed earlier, it's the closers / even the, just broadly speaking, people in sales. It's those people that don't adapt that will get left behind. Like I said, I want to reiterate again because it's so important. The earlier that you see and adapt to change, the better results that you will get, okay? There is a positive correlation between the earlier you get in and the better results that you have, okay? Now, here's the interesting thing. When one door closes, another one opens, okay? So what I mean by that is 5 years ago, and again, I was there at the time, I know this, high ticket sales was so much easier. There was closers with, in all honesty, not that much skill, making 20, 30, 40, 50K a month, right? Because the market was just different, okay? But it's not that opportunity that was there in the early 2020s, it's not that opportunity has just gone away, okay? Now, the basic laws of physics state that energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only be transformed, okay? And what that is my way of trying to sound smart in saying that opportunity does not just go away. It doesn't just get destroyed, okay? But what it does do is shift. It transforms. It moves to new places. That opportunity that was over there is now over here, and that's where you need to adapt to the change, okay? And I'm about to show you in just a second where that opportunity has shifted to, as well as, most importantly, ultimately, what this all means for you and your family and anybody else that you provide for, essentially. Now, I want to go into, though, the definition of a high earning, high ticket sales role. Like I said, I'm deep in the trenches of this industry. I've been in the high ticket sales space for 5 years. I'm speaking with closers daily, founders daily. I've got so much data about so many different offers in the high ticket sales space. And this is my observation from tons of data, tons of conversations about exactly the 3 things that define a high earning sales role, okay? And by the way, I want to quickly just illustrate that, I like to define what we're talking about so that we're both on the same page here. When I say high earning, I quantify high earning as the potential to make at least 20,000 a month, okay? And the opportunity for high performers to make 30, 40, 50K plus per month, okay? So, and that opportunity comes from the opportunity, should I say, to make that kind of income comes from, let's start broad and then we'll niche down. It comes from a combination of your sales skill, but also, and this is the one that a lot of people miss out, but it also comes from the company/industry that you are selling within, okay? Now, sales skill, of course, that's the obvious one, right? But this is the one that people miss out. You know, you could be the best salesperson in the world, but let's say you're selling newspapers, for example, for $5 a pop. Like, you're just going to get outcompeted by some other guy that's nowhere near as skilled as you, not even as hardworking as you, but they're selling in a high demand industry such as AI, right? The industry that you sell within is so important. It's a tough one, but you could argue that the industry that you sell within is more important than your sales skill. In fact, you know what? It is, okay? I'm putting that on the record here. The industry that you sell within will have more of an effect on your income than your sales ability itself, okay? Now, let's, knowing that, get deeper here though. What makes a great industry to sell within? Well, there's three things. Again, this has come from so much observation, so much data. These are the three things that make a high earning industry that you can sell within, okay? So number one, high commissions per sale, okay? I also call this commission efficiency because it is very, very difficult. Again, we have to be nuanced here. Though not totally, very difficult, though not totally impossible to make 20K a month commission if what you sell nets you, say, 300 to 500 commission per sale, right? Because think about it. Think about the maths. If you net 300 to 500 commission per sale, you have to make around about 40 to 66 sales per month just to hit 20K per month. And there's only so many hours in the day. You know, there's only so many sales meetings that you can take, okay? You've got to do, again, around about 40 to 66, okay? And you're not going to convert everybody, okay? Even the best salesperson in the world is not going to convert 100%, okay? And so you've got to account for people that don't show up. You've got to account for people that don't convert. And after all of that taken out, you've still got to hit 40 to 66 units just to hit 20K a month. Now imagine this, parallel scenario. Let's say that what you sell nets you 2,000 commission per sale. Well, then you only need 10 sales per month to hit that 20K a month income goal, right? That is commission efficiency. It's practically the same amount of work, but you need drastically lower sales and lower deals closed to hit that goal, right? Commission efficiency. The second thing is high demand. Again, very, very overlooked, okay? Because the more in demand what you are selling is, then the more lead flow that you have, the more receptive prospects will be to what you're selling, and therefore the more easier the sale becomes. So you're going to have a higher volume of sales meetings, and those sales meetings are going to be easier to close. Again, goes back to an example I often give. You could be the best salesperson in the world, but if you're selling newspapers for $5, right, it's low commission per sale and low demand, it's a declining industry. That's of course an extreme example, but you're just going to get outcompeted on commission by somebody else who is far less skilled than you. But if they're selling in a high demand booming industry like AI, then they're just going to outcompete you because they've got high commissions per deal and they're selling in an industry which is high demand. Now, the third and final one that makes a good industry to sell within, and again, we define this as an industry and a company where you can genuinely make 20K a month and maybe even 30, 40, 50K a month if you're, a skilled salesperson. The third and final one is qualified buyers, okay? Now, imagine this. When you combine high commissions per sale, you combine that with high demand, and you're selling to a market which can actually afford what you are selling, I promise you guys, that is when you make the big money. The combination of these three things: high commissions per sale, high demand, and selling to a market which is typically a cash-rich market, qualified buyers, okay? People that can actually afford the high price points that you are selling at and therefore netting high commissions per deal, okay? So put it this way. Let's say that what you're selling is a $20,000 product or service to a consumer, right? Think about this. How many consumers even have $20,000 in the bank alone, right? I should actually research this and find the exact number because I can guarantee you it's very, very low. There is some kind of stat, don't quote me on this, but it's something like in the USA, I forget the number, but it's something crazy high, like 50, 60, 70%, around about that region are living paycheck to paycheck, as in they have like spare capital, they have like less than $1,000, right? So how many consumers do you think will even have 20,000 in the bank, let alone $20,000 to spare, okay? Versus how many business owners do you think have $20,000 in the bank? Way more than you think, okay? This is another thing that surprised me about, like I said, I came from a corporate sales world and then into the high ticket sales world. And, it can be easy to think sometimes, if you haven't been around this space, it can be easy to think like, what person has $20,000 spare? Way more than you think. Way more business owners have $20,000 in the bank, okay? And the beautiful thing is that selling in the AI industry, it gives you all three, right? You're selling $10,000 to $40,000 AI solutions. By the way, I'm going to show you some example companies that are hiring in just a second, okay? And by the way, $20,000 to a business owner, the value makes sense because in the AI space, I haven't written this on the document, but the beautiful thing is that you're selling things with very tangible value propositions. So what I mean by that is, you know, we work with a company who hire through us that they sell custom AI agents, right? That can typically fulfill the role of, depending on a few factors, around about 5 to 15 staff members, right? So what that means is that they charge $30K, by the way, and they can save a company really anywhere from $100,000 to $1 million per year, right? So you see how tangible that value proposition is. You pay me $30K, and I'm going to save you $500K per year. It makes logical sense, right? So yeah, you're selling $10,000 to $40,000 AI solutions, which from a mathematical standpoint and a value standpoint, it makes sense for the business owner to go for it, right? Because they're going to make far more or save a lot more than the price point that they paid, essentially. Okay. Now, the second thing, AI solutions are in high demand. I probably don't need to tell you on this and sell you why and just how much of demand is flowing into the AI space, right? You already know. If you click this video, if you've got this far, you already know, okay? I'm not going to spend too much time here. And third and finally, you're selling to business owners, not consumer markets, right? Business owners that have a genuine problem. They get to the call with you. They already know they want and need AI. Again, very tangible value propositions, okay? And that's all the ingredients of a high income industry that you can sell with it. Rather than me just telling you this, why don't I show you, okay? So this is just one example of many recent wins and frankly insane results that we've had in the AI space recently. Now, this is my client, Nick. Now, Nick came to us having been an SDR/setter in the finance space, right? He was working remotely, which is a big thing that many people that are working in traditional sales industries, that's what they like about this. It's remote, you can work from anywhere, Bali, Thailand, Spain, whatever it is that you want, right? So he was already working remote and already had that location freedom, but he was only earning about $3K a month, right? Now, any of you guys that have been SDRs, been setters, you will know what a grind it is, okay? It's not for the faint of heart. I actually really like people that come to us having already been a setter, because setters, you build a certain amount of grit, resilience, right? It builds good character traits, okay? Now, as a company, we only focus on placing people into closing roles. That's where the money is. It's a lot. I mean, I don't want to say it's less of a grind. There is work involved, but less of a grind than setting, all for more money as well. But anyways, right. More importantly, he knew that he was destined for more. This is very common. I reflect a lot on the clients that we have, the conversations we have, and I find this common pattern. Maybe you can resonate with this, let me know in the comments if so, but they feel this certain lack of fulfillment within them. They feel like they are destined for more. They feel like they have this potential that's way up here, but they're operating down here. You see what I'm saying, right? Again, maybe some of you and even yourself can resonate with that. Ultimately, he knew he wasn't fulfilling his true potential. He knew that his skill and his work ethic, it wasn't matching what was dropping into his bank at the end of the month, okay? So he joined us. He was already a good salesperson, okay? But we took his sales skill and specifically closing in AI skill to a whole new level. We got him placed into a remote closing role with a phenomenal AI company that sells AI CRM integrations, where, by the way, he nets typically 1.5K upfront commissions plus revenue share, or plus, should I say, commission on the recurring revenue share that this company and their model operates on, okay? Now, check this. His very first week of selling AI, 2 deals closed, okay? Bearing in mind, each one nets you $1,500 commission per sale, plus back-end recurring revenue that you're going to get for the entire time that you're working for that company, $3,000 upfront commission, and more like 6 to 10K plus commission in his very first week, okay? But it gets even better, okay? That was his first week, closed 2 great deals, right? 1 week, okay? Bearing in mind, he was earning $3K a month before. His very first week of selling AI, he did $3K in a week, okay? So his old monthly income instantly became his weekly income just by making this one switch to selling in a booming industry like AI. But again, it gets better, okay? His second week, he goes on to make $3,000 commission in just 1 day. Okay, 1 day. Bearing in mind, again, making $3K per month before. His second week of selling AI, makes 3,000 commission in just 1 day's work for having a couple of Zoom conversations. What a life, okay? His old monthly income now becomes his daily income. Amazing. I love seeing stories like this. It genuinely does motivate me. Like, I'm a business owner. transparently, being a business owner comes with a lot of stress, pressure, and workload, okay? But having these stories and seeing results like this, it really does motivate me to keep going, okay? And this is also what I call the AI effect, okay? The AI effect is something that I've never heard anybody else talk about this, but it's just my observations and something that I notice is that when you start operating, working, selling, whatever it might be in AI in some capacity, you just get involved in AI in some capacity and your income just, boom, skyrockets, okay? And there's an analogy I give that the quickest way to get wet is to stand under a waterfall. I'm aware of how dodgy that analogy sounds, okay? But we'll keep it PG. And but hopefully you guys can see what I'm trying to illustrate there with that analogy. Okay, what some people are doing, you know, if they've got a goal to get wet, I know it's weird, but they've got this goal to get wet, and you know, they're building pipes from scratch, they're building irrigation systems, and then somebody like Nick just goes and stands under a waterfall. Like, you know, again, the waterfall, the water represents money and demand, all this money and demand that's flowing into the AI space, okay? And then you've got people that are just standing in the middle of that wave, okay, of all that water, i.e. all of that money and demand, okay? Now, as a side note, think about this. You know what I talked about earlier, commission efficiency, right? Imagine that what you sell nets you, say, $300 per commission per sale, right? How are you going to make 3,000 commission in one day? Okay, it's practically impossible, okay? You'd have to do 10 sales in one day to hit that. Okay, and let's say you had 10 sales calls booked that day. All 10 of them show up. You'd have to convert all of them, which, let's just be real, that's not going to happen. You're never going to get a consistent 100% show rate. You're never going to get a consistent 100% conversion rate. It's just not simply going to happen. But because Nick is netting 1.5K commission per deal, it's very possible that he can close 1-2 deals a day. Okay, life-changing in many cases. Now, as an important side note, I want to let you know that Nick isn't special, okay? Now, is Nick good at sales? Yeah, sure. I'm not saying, hey, we took this guy who was absolutely terrible and now he makes 3K a day. I'm not saying that. Nick was good at sales. He had good character traits, you know, hardworking guy. He took this commitment to our process very seriously. But as we spoke about, skill and hard work is absolutely not the sole determinant of how much income you'll make in sales, okay? Nick realized what a lot of other people in sales don't realize, but hopefully you now realize, that it's not just about how hard you row, it's about what boat you are in, okay? Nick turned his old monthly income into now his daily income, just from that one switch, just from switching industries and selling in AI, a place where there's high commissions per deal, a booming market, high demand with qualified buyers. Just that one decision to sell in a better opportunity vehicle, i.e. AI, okay? Previously, to go back to the boat analogy, you know, he's rowing hard, you know, being a setter, and other people are just speeding on by in a speedboat, which represents AI, right? Okay, this one switch, and he turned his old monthly income to now his daily income, okay? And by the way, if you want to make the same switch as Nick, if you want my help in making that switch, okay, just click the link down in the description, schedule a call with myself and my team. Might be a very exciting journey for you, okay? And while we're here quickly as well, I want to just, again, because I appreciate I'm telling you guys all this about selling AI, such a great opportunity, but, you know, I just want to show you that it really is real. There's a lot of people online that make big claims and they're trying to sell you things. And listen, do I have something to sell? Absolutely. I'm the sales guy. I'm never going to be that guy that shies away from the fact that I sell something. I do. Whether or not you buy from us, I really, really don't mind. You know, we do our thing. We run our ads. I make this content and we naturally attract the right people. Some people buy from us, some people don't. That's totally fine. But regardless, whether we end up working closely together, I just want you guys to really see that this is real, okay? So Nick is one example, right? Let me show you this here. This is our school group here. It's called High Ticket AI. Just look at even just these recent ones. Jade, role landed. Nick, who I just showed you, 2 deals in his first week selling AI. Rupert, a big win and some gratitude, landed his dream role. No prior closing experience, by the way. If I scroll down a little bit here, you'll see this even here, right? 7 days ago, only 7 days ago, okay? This is a guy, Philip, who, by the way, is in his 60s, okay? Most people, the average age of people that join us, it's quite a range, but it's typically like 25 to 45, I would say. Philip is our oldest client. Look at that. $45,000 in the last 10 weeks alone, okay? As a guy in his 60s, okay? Imagine what you could do, okay? Now, also another interesting one. So we've got multiple recruitment systems as a business, right? I'm a big believer in volume. You've got access to our direct network, our partnerships. This job board software that we have exclusive access to, we're one of only, a handful of companies that have access access to this, and transparently we pay a fair bit of money for it. These are not roles that are, advertised publicly. We're one of only, our clients are one of only, few people that have access to this. And this isn't even our primary recruitment system. This isn't even companies in our network, but I want to illustrate this to you, okay? That AI is the best industry to sell within. Now, on this job board software here, okay, now this has, like I said, this is not a primary recruitment system. This is more of a bonus side system, okay? Now, when I go onto this software, okay, I filter it and sort it by highest OTE, right? Check this, okay? If we go to the top 9 results, okay, you'll see here how many are in AI. We've got 1, 2, 3. The top 9 results with the top highest on-target earnings, 3 out of 9 of them are all in AI. 33% of the 400 plus roles that are on here, of the highest earning roles, are in AI. Now, to put this in perspective, right? Think about how many industries are out there. Okay, so many. You've got finance, you've got health, you've got fitness, you've got broad B2B, marketing agencies, courses, coaching programs. There are so many different industries. So I want to hopefully illustrate to you guys how significant it is that on this one software alone, 33% of the highest earning roles are in AI. That is crazy, guys. That is crazy. And I think a good proof point for hopefully what I'm saying, that AI is the best industry that you can sell within, okay? Now, I want to go through some differences, though. Some differences between AI sales versus, say, more traditional high-ticket sales roles. Now, commission size. We've talked so much about commission efficiency. I showed you Nick's example of again, would it be impossible to make 3K commission in one day when what you're selling nets you 300 per sale, okay? Commission size. Traditional high-ticket sales offers, 3 to 500 per sale is about right. Could sometimes be higher, could sometimes be lower. AI sales, more like 1 to 5,000 per sale, okay? Demand. Traditional high-ticket sales, we spoke about this earlier. It's on a downward trajectory. Again, nuanced thinking. Yes, you can still make great money selling B2C high-ticket sales offers, courses, coaching programs, etc. Absolutely you can. But the fact is the demand is downtrending. That is a fact. Trust is eroding. Skepticism is on an upward trajectory. It just keeps getting higher and higher. Whereas AI industry, you think about how many business owners that you're going to be speaking to that genuinely love AI. They're passionate about AI. They're curious. It's an exciting industry. The prospects, most often in traditional high-ticket sales offers, let's face it, you're selling most often to, B2C beginners, They're skeptical. They can often be distrusting. They often have a lack of financial resources. Like we said earlier, if you want to sell something that's high commissions per sale, then you need to be selling something at a high price point. Well, can consumers afford high price points? Most of the time not, but many cash-rich business owners can. And that's who we're selling to in the AI space. But then another one that not a lot of people think about, conversation quality, okay? In traditional B2C high-ticket sales offers, let's face it, it's quite an emotional sell, especially if you're on offers like fitness, for example. A girl that we had join us, her previous high-ticket sales offer she's with a great company now, by the way, but her previous high-ticket sales offer was, I'm trying to get it right, but it was emotional coaching offer. Right. And when she said that, I literally, like, my stomach turned. I'm like, oh God, doing 8 of those calls a day, basically therapy sessions. All just to make $300-400 a sale. No, not for me. I'll stick to AI. Thank you very much. But you are dealing with, again, B2C beginners. So the conversation quality, it's a very emotional sell. It's quite draining, in all honesty. You're dealing with prospects that have limiting beliefs. By nature of them being on the call with you, if they're buying some kind of coaching program to get fitter or to make more money, naturally it means that there's a lot of emotional pain there, which, can obviously help the sale, but at the same time, it's like you've got to deal with all these limiting beliefs, okay? And then you get to the end and maybe they do really like you, they do really trust you, they see the value in what you're doing, maybe they've even got the money, but, that's a big ask. If what you're selling is $5,000, $8,000, that to a consumer is a massive, massive ask, okay? And so you're dealing with a lot of financial fear and a lot of repetitive objections. Versus AI, logical, consultative sell, where we are simply just articulating the value of a solution that solves a genuine problem. Okay, again, goes back to something I said earlier, very tangible value propositions. You pay me 30K, I'm going to save your business 500K. What do you want to pay on Amex or debit or, I'm not saying that, of course, again, of course there is, even still with cash-rich business owners and selling AI, of course there is the emotional aspect of it. Of course, we want to get, prospects in the right emotional state to buy. However, it's not as much of a therapy session as many other high-ticket sales offers. Now, again, if you've made it this far in the video, if you clicked a video like this and you stayed and watched a video like this, maybe you follow my content for a while, I have a lot of confidence that you probably can see why this would work. Like, yeah, everything that Scott's saying, it makes sense, right? It makes sense why selling for AI businesses is such a great opportunity. But you might have also recognized a core problem, a core obstacle, which is, where on earth do I start? Right now, to get more specific on that, it's like, well, how do I actually land a role? If I don't have the networking connections in the AI space, and I want to land a role with a great AI company, one that's got high price points, high commissions per sale, a very good product and service, where I'm selling to qualified buyers, like if I want that without the networking connections, how on earth do I go ahead and land a role? Believe me, guys, many of these companies, they do not just advertise out on Indeed and LinkedIn. Think about it. They're busy business owners, okay? They're busy teams. So are they going to just go and post their recruitment job out on Indeed, get 500 applications, 99% of them are absolutely terrible, sifting through them, going through all these interviews when you're a busy business owner? No, guys. Again, I'm deep in the recruitment game. I know how this works. Many, I'd go as far as to say near all of these companies will go through private networks. They'll go through recruitment agencies and whatever it might be, okay? And that means, unfortunately, the general public don't see these roles, okay? But I've just showed you, again, that software earlier on of the top 9 highest earning roles on that one software alone. Again, we've got many recruitment systems, but that one software alone, 33% of them are in AI, and those are not roles that you are going to see out there advertised, okay? But secondly, let's be hypothetical and say that you did somehow land a role, right? That you spent months and months sending out manual applications. Well, the next problem becomes, well, if I've never sold B2B AI solutions over Zoom before, what would I do? What would I say when I get to my Zoom calls in order to close deals consistently? You get to these companies and yeah, sure, they will onboard you. They'll teach you about their product and the product knowledge side of things, but they expect you to be ready to go, ready to close deals. They don't want to teach you from scratch, okay? They want to bring you in and they'll teach you about the product and service, but then they want you ready to close deals, okay? Now, if you have thought that before, okay, so you've had that belief of like, yes, selling AI, it makes sense, why this is such a good opportunity, but I don't know how to land a role, I don't know how to close deals once I'm in the role, then trust me, you are not alone, okay? Most people feel this way, and I'm speaking to many people like yourself every single day. The frustration of knowing that this would work, but just not knowing where to start, not knowing how to land a role, right? Well, that, guys, is why I poured my life and my entire being into starting this business. Believe me, guys, just transparently, starting any business from scratch is hard, okay? I promise you it really is. I would always hear that from other people, other business owners. They'd be like, oh, starting a business is hard. And this is back when I was selling for other companies. And I'd be like, is it though? You know, is it that hard? But trust me, guys, now being in this and in the trenches, it's tough, okay? It's hard. But you know, it goes back to something I said earlier. I love seeing these results that come in. I know that we're changing lives. Might sound cocky maybe, but I know it. I know that our process changes lives for those people that come in and follow the process, you know. Now, yes, am I a capitalist? Do I want to make money? 100%. Again, I'm the sales guy. I'm never going to be the guy that shies away from the fact that I sell something, okay? And yes, money is a motivation, like it probably is for you as well. But I genuinely, it goes beyond me. It's about more than just me. It's about my team members. It's about my customers. It's about their great results and their lives being transformed through this process. And the reason I bring that up is that those 2 problems above, how do I land a role? How do I close deals once in the role? Those are the exact 2 problems that me and my business solve, right? Our entire business is built around solving those 2 problems. So landing you a great remote sales role with a brilliant AI company, and we do that through our extensive recruitment network and systems, and then also ensuring through our extensive training program that you close deals every single week, deals that are worth thousands in commission every single week once you are into the role, okay? And if you want us to do this for you, like we've done for so many others, I showed you a couple earlier, I could bore you all day with client results. It's just, frankly, just crazy. I can't take all the credit. Yes, we've got a process that works. It's repeatable, but at the same time, AI is booming. That helps, you know? But if you do want our help, okay, if you want to be like these people, land a role in AI, close deals, fulfill that potential that you know that you've got within you, then just click the link that is in the description, schedule a call with myself or the team, and it'll be a start of a very exciting journey for you. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for watching this to the end. If you are still here, congrats to you, my friend. You are the exact type of person that I love to work with. I like to work with people that are committed to this, that can focus. You know, I don't necessarily like to work with people who like their mind is all scattered and they got social media, TikTok brain. You know, they can't focus on something for more than 2 minutes. But by nature that you are here at the end, again, it shows that you've got commitment to this process. It shows that you've got focus. And if you have that, then we can take care of the rest. We've got the recruitment network. We've got the systems. We've got the network, the connections, the training, everything you need to make a great income and become a top sales performer in AI. Okay, all we need is that commitment from somebody. And by you, the nature of you being at the end of this video, it shows that you have that. So go ahead and click the link in the description, schedule a call, and depending on what day and time you book it for, that will either go to myself or a member of my team. Either way, we'll run you through everything in detail. We'll have a chat, get to know you. Not a hardcore sales process by any means, ironically, but we really do want, when you're in the recruitment game, it's the people game. Okay, you really do need the right people. So it's not a hardcore sales pressure conversation. It's just, a genuine chat. Get to know you, run you through the detail of what we do, because everything I've gone through here is really just this is like 5% of everything I know, to be honest, maybe even less than that. But yeah, so yeah, go ahead and schedule that call, and I will see you in the next video. By the way, guys, just before we go, another thing I've just remembered. So those of you that follow me for a while will know that, I haven't been posting on YouTube as much recently, and that's been very, very intentional. I'm in a very blessed position that because of the nature of AI and it's booming, we get clients that just naturally come to us and want to sign up with us. But I've really been locked in on the back end. I really am committed to making this the best product on the planet for sales training and recruitment. Again, on the planet, period, okay? And so for that reason, the last couple of months, we've never really, in all honesty, I don't mean this in an arrogant way, but we've never needed really to get clients, It's like, we run our ads, clients naturally come to us. The right people come to us, okay? So I've really been, rather than spending a lot of time making YouTube content, Instagram content, I've really just been taking that focus, that time, that energy, and putting it onto making this the best product on the planet, which is what I've done, okay? But recently, we've been through a bit of a hiring speed. We've got some amazing systems in place, which has luckily freed up my time as the founder. So there's going to be, long story short, a lot more YouTube content on the way. So if you're not already subscribed, do make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be dropping a lot of value, a lot of free game for you guys, both here on YouTube and also on my IG as well. So again, thank you so much for watching this till the end, and I will see you in the next video.